This video will demonstrate how to divide a polynomial. Now I have more than a monomial in that I have two terms, x minus 1. So I have an x and then the minus 1 gives me two different terms. Alright, so the first way we're going to look at this is long division, and then we'll also look at it using synthetic division. So what I'm going to do is, yes, it's the dreaded long division that you did in grade school. So x minus 1 goes into 4x cubed minus x squared minus 5x plus 6. So I'm just going to set it up the way we did way back when. In other words, if I ask you to divide 382 divided by 2, you would have set that up like this. Alright? And we're basically doing the same thing. We've got our polynomial here, and we've got what we're dividing by. Now, our first step when we divide by a polynomial is to ask ourselves, alright, forget about the minus 1 for a second. Ask yourself, what times x is going to give me 4x cubed? I know I've got to have a 4, alright, to get the 4. And now I've got an x, so x squared times x will give me the x cubed part. So that's how you determine your first term. So I've got 4x squared. Now, we take 4x squared times x, which gives us our 4x cubed, and then we've got to multiply the 4x squared by the negative 1 and get minus 4x squared. And just like we would do up here, okay, so we'd say 1 times 2 is 2, bring down. Now, just like we do up here, we'd subtract, right? 3 minus 2 gives me 1, bring down my 8. We're going to subtract here. Alright, but what I like to do is to come in and to go ahead and change my signs and circle them so that I remember that I'm subtracting. Okay, most students will get this first term subtracted because they know it has to go away, but what they do is mess up on this one. Originally on this problem I had a minus 4x squared, but now when I get ready to subtract it, it's going to become a positive 4x squared. So I've just changed it to a plus so that I can keep that in mind as I do the math. So I've got 4x cubed minus 4x cubed, this 0, it goes away. I've got minus x squared plus 4x squared, and now that is going to leave me with 3x squared. And now, just like we did over here, our next step is to bring down that next term, minus 5x. So now we're back up here. What times x is going to give me a 3x squared? Well, I know I'm going to need a 3. Alright, so I put the plus 3, because 3 times x is going to give me 3x. And I know I need an x in order to get the x squared part. Okay, so now I multiply that. 3x times x gives me 3x squared. And now 3x times the negative 1 gives me a minus 3x. And again, remember that we are subtracting. So I'm just going to make myself a little mental note here. Alright, so then 3x squared minus 3x squared gives me 0. And a minus 5x plus 3x is going to give me a minus 2x. Alright, and now I'm going to bring down my last term, which is 6, a positive 6. So I'm right back up here. What times x gives me a minus 2x, and that's going to be a minus 2. So minus 2 times x gives me minus 2x. And then minus 2 times a minus 1 is going to give me a positive 2. Again, remember, I'm subtracting. So I'm just going to come in here and make myself a mental note to change my signs. Minus 2x plus 2x gives me 0. And then 6 minus 2 gives me a positive 4. Alright, so what do we do over here? We would say remainder 4, or we can write this, our answer is 4x squared plus 3x minus 2, and then you put this part over what you're dividing, so it's going to be plus 4 over x minus 1. Remember, you can put your remainder over what you're dividing by. The next video will demonstrate the same thing using synthetic